Yo, 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 what's up, everybody? Thank you for tuning in to yet again another fantastic indie creator interview. It is your Caped Crusader, Cody, and we are keeping it geekly with our two new friends, Attack of the Mats. We have Matt Fife and Matt Rodgers here to break down Happy Astronaut. How are you guys doing? Welcome to the stream, guys.
Thank you.
Yeah, so this is our first time getting together. We have an Ohio crew, Ohio love in the chat right now. Awesome. I always love getting people from around the area on and really shining a spotlight on their books. But before we dive into that, let's break down who you two are and how you got into creating comics.
You go ahead. You like comics more than me.
All right. Well, I read comics as a kid. I loved comics as a kid. 13 or 14 hit, I quit reading comics. And then at 18 years old, I just became absolutely obsessed, which led to this.
Quite a collection.
And that love of the storytelling and the medium made it so I wanted to create comics, and I was already friends with Rodgers, and that's when we started. We've been working together off and on for a long time, and making little projects. Man, I'm not good at this.
No, you're doing great. You're doing great. You're doing great.
We're doing awesome. Yeah.
And now I'm here. But I love comics, and that's why I make comics.
But
Yeah,
Matt, what about you, man? What was some of your inspiration? Well, Matt Rodgers. I'm gonna go by Fife and Rodgers. I think that'd be the easiest way.
That'll work. Yep.
When we were in school, there were like literally 22 Matts. So we are totally used to last names.
Man, what is going on in Ohio?
Right.
Must be the corn.
Yeah. No, we like I grew up reading comics here and there, like the generic ones like Alf and G.I. Joe stuff. But I never got super into superhero stuff. And Fife, we met in high school. We always had like, man, we should do a comic about this sometime, because I was always like the art class kid and I could draw, but I was more inspired by like comic strips. So that's what I was always trying to do, is like, man, I want to do comic strips. And then I found out that that's like a dying art form, because newspapers aren't really a thing anymore. And yeah, so like if you look at the comic, you can see that there's definitely like a comic strip vibe to it. Because I'm like, perspective, what's that? That's really hard to do. But yeah, so I mean, I grew up with that kind of stuff. I got more into superhero comics after Fife kind of like started taking me around to comic shops. So like DC Comics 52 era, like when that weekly series was coming out, I got super into them then, and then I just kind of fell off. And it's like, I like the movies more because I don't have to invest as much time and money.
Oh, there's so much money. I mean, it seems like if you're trying to stay up with a storyline, you have to shell out hundreds. I mean, especially with like DC Marvel, they come out with a book like every other week too. It's like, please let my wallet breathe a little bit.
Right. Yeah. Because
That's why you wait.
You have what, every DC comic published since 86 back there?
1986 up until 2015. In 2015, I called it quits.
Right.
It's like the life savings is drained. I can't do this anymore.
The new 52 era was not good, and I had to bail. But yeah, just about every DC issue from 1986 up to 2015 is in those boxes.
And that is remarkable. That's remarkable. So you guys, before Happy Astronaut, though, you've worked on a couple stories together that just didn't see the light of day in terms of publishing. Can you tell me what those stories were about? Like, what kind of like some early concepts of them?
One of them that we had that was going to be our big pitch to get into DC is we had a switched at birth where we were going to make it so that Superman's spaceship crashed in Gotham and was found by Thomas and Martha Wayne. And Clark Kent, his parents get murdered, and he becomes Superman or Batman instead. It was like kind of switched to birth story.
That would be such a unique way to see Batman, though, acting as like Clark Kent acting with like the Batman mentality would just be such a conflict of like interest, you know, like because he's like, yeah, he's the happy-go-lucky guy, not the brooding dude.
We wanted to play with the nature versus nurture.
Yeah.
And
like, holy crap. And then I mean, I've read comics and seen Superman like lose his cool, so seeing him probably like lose it in a more brooding sense would be just destructive.
Yeah,
we're a lot of fun.
We had notes we're gonna make his costume darker, and this was before the movies did that, so that's our idea.
Oh, like the regenerative suit, the black suit.
Yeah, like how in Man of Steel he has like the almost navy blue.
Yeah.
Maroon. We were gonna go that route with it, and it was gonna be awesome. And then we were like, I can't draw that. You've seen Happy Astronaut. I can't draw Batman and Superman.
And then that project just died.
Yeah, that's one of them. I mean, we just had a bunch. What was another one? We had one about.
We had another one where we brought in another artist, and Matt Rodgers was inking, and it was a big story about aliens and time travel and robots and scientists and astronauts. Astronauts are a theme and like stuff I like to work on. I love astronauts. They're cool. But you know, that never went anywhere. It would have been awesome, but all these projects just never went anywhere. We lost interest.
So it has to be a surreal feeling to have started this campaign yesterday, and you funded like what, within 3 hours, 4 hours? It was quick. I remember.
It was 36 hours.
36 hours. I was 30 hours off, but
math is hard.
I could have sworn, or maybe you were halfway at the 3 hour mark. I remember there was a significant moment with like relatively early in the campaign.
Yeah, it was. Dude, like it went live, and within a minute, we already had like $75. Like somebody already purchased the first page to the Eyeball Planet story. And like a book.
That's awesome. How's that feel, having so many projects that you were never able to get, taken off the ground, and then this one funded so fast? That is crazy. That's within 2 days. Like, it has to be like such an awesome feeling.
Looking back on a lot of them, it makes me really grateful that this is the one that got completed.
Yeah, it was weird. Like we went into it. He texted me talking about how, as long as we get one backer today, it'll be fine. We get one backer. I'll feel confident about it. And I think we shut the first day down with 22 and almost.
That's awesome.
Yeah, I was like, what? It's nuts. But yeah, it's really cool. Like, we've been working on Happy Astronaut pretty consistently for at least 4 years. I mean, we have entire stories that are drawn, colored, lettered, everything that are just like probably never going to come out because it was us feeling out the project. You know what I mean? Like, I look back at that art and I'm just like, nah. At the time, I'm like, look how great this looks. And then I open it like a year later and I was just like, ugh.
But it sounds like you have a lot of like blueprint for potential like material in the future to work off of.
Yeah. Oh, absolutely.
Yeah,
that is awesome.
We have a document on a Google Drive that's just like story ideas and tidbits, and it's like an entire page of like 3-word phrases.
That's awesome.
It's like, man, I need inspiration for something. Let's open this up. Oh, we can have him do that. Cool.
Mm-hmm. It seems like you two have a really like fluid and organic relationship. How does the creative process look like between you two? With Fife scripting it out and then Rodgers, putting that to paper. How does that look?
Well, we both usually join together on the bare idea, the basic idea, and we build it up together, talking back and forth, and then I go off on my own, write up a script. It's usually completely different than what we talked about, and then I send it over to him. He draws it how he wants it to be, he betters it, and then I read dialogue everything. And it's a lot of back and forth and redoing and learning every page. Correct?
Yeah, like for Eyeball Planet, I think it started with me sending him a text one day while I was working, and I was just like, we should have Happy land on a planet that the whole thing's just a big eyeball. And then he writes the story, he writes the whole script, and usually, like, the big thing that we have is the nickname for him is Wordy Bitch, because like I'll get a script. It's like he's trying to be Alan Moore over here. Like, he gives me the biggest scripts, and he'll have like 9 panels, and every panel has like 3 word balloons, and all the word balloons have like 27 words in them. So I have to like go through the script because I like to do 5 to 6 panels.
Mm-hmm.
I thought it was 7. Sorry.
Right. So what I'll do is I'll go through the script, and in my really weak thumbnailing, like, man, speaking of thumbnailing, I'll see some artists post their thumbnails, and these things are like better than our final project. Like, the detail and time they put into those, mine are like stick figures drawn in like ink pen. But like, I'll go through and I'll consolidate stuff down, and the script won't have the final like dialogue and captions and stuff. So we'll get the basic idea down, and then we share that on a Google Drive, and he opens it and looks over it, and he'll like come up with edits for it. And so the whole thing is done. One second. See if we can see this. The whole thing's done physically.
Here, let me zoom. I'll move us to where we can zoom this in.
There we go.
Oops, hold on one second.
Yeah.
Give me one second. I need to change it right here. I zoomed in on myself. There we go. There we go.
So the whole thing is done. Analog.
I really like the way you utilize those blacks for the background too. That's awesome.
Dude, I go through so much ink. But the only thing that I don't draw is, I do the screen toning because we decided to go black and white, so the screen toning's digital. But I don't draw a spaceship because I want it to be uniform. So I actually have a 3D model of a spaceship that I import. But yeah, so it's all drawn. I'll do edits digitally. Like, we have one where I need to change what direction he's looking, and I need to make his mouth open. So that's real easy to do in a computer. But yeah, we work. So,
what was some of the inspirations for the design, though? It seems like Happy has a pretty unique design compared to everything else that I've read, like in terms of like space travel and being an astronaut. We were talking earlier that it kind of had some Adventure Time vibes to it, but what other influences would you say that you guys draw from?
Visually, I've been drawing for so long, so like I don't want to name drop too many weird things because people be like, it doesn't look anything like that. But you got Calvin and Hobbes and the Spaceman Spiff stuff. Clearly, like, that's awesome. It's mostly just like imagination. That's why astronauts are so awesome, and the idea of like exploring different planets, because you can just, what's this planet? Cool, we'll go with it. And then just looking up reference and trying to make everything look uniform, but it's a blast.
Oh, that is awesome. So I think right now let's go ahead. We'll pull up the Zoop campaign and kind of get a closer look at what you guys are campaigning for.
Okay. Awesome.
We'll pull this up right.
They may have updated with our stretch goals.
I hope so. We have one stretch goal. We're adding some in.
Because this went way better than we expected.
There we go. All right, so let me get this pulled up on my end as well. We are looking at Happy Astronaut, issue number 1 by Matt Fife and Matt Rodgers. Join Happy, the probably total professional astronaut, on his adventures spanning the cosmos. A black and white all ages flip book by Matt Fife and Matt Rodgers that's kind of like Star Trek TOS meeting Adventure Time in the sci-fi fantasy section of your local used bookstore. So currently at $1,047 of a $1,000 goal, 29 supporters and 29 days left to go. Awesome. Congratulations once again, man. This is awesome.
Mind blowing. It's awesome.
It is. It's insanity.
So here is a look at some of the tiers as well. So it looks like we have the digital PDF and as an early bird included on the thank you page for $4. The physical copy a flip book plus everyone in reward issue number 1. I am like stumbling on these titles, excuse me. So the physical copy for $7 for the first 48 hours only. So what's that going to go up to after the early bird special?
I think they just go up by $1 each, so it'll go up to 5 and 8.
That's not that bad at all either.
Right. Yeah.
And then for reward 3, we have a happy sketch at 25. So give us a little bit about this, Rodgers. What's this sketch going to consist of?
I basically just, I have some of them right here. I did pre-work. So it's just one of my comic art boards cut into quarters, and you'll just get a picture of Happy just drawn out on it.
So beautiful.
Yeah, that looks awesome.
So you get those. I have one. I don't know if I want to give it away or not, but I got inspired, and I wanted to do it in the style of Rob Liefeld.
Oh, that is so cool.
So, but I'm like, do I want to get rid of that one? Because that's like the best anatomy I've ever drawn.
If that goes anywhere, it goes to me.
Give it to me. And then pretty outstanding prices too. So original art page for $50. That is a really cheap price. What was some of your reasoning for having it that cheap?
Because it's random.
Nobody knows who I am, so I figure my art's not really valuable. So the $50 price just gets you a random piece. Like I went through, because I have some pages that were clearly meant to be enhanced digitally, so like those ones won't be involved. Mm-hmm. But we picked out 5 pages that are like, we think the best looking or the coolest, and those are the ones that we put up. You'll see those down the list a little bit because you get to pick those ones specifically, but $50 just seemed like a good deal for like a no-name artist. And I'm kind of shocked that 4 people picked it.
Yeah, dude, you got some fans out there. We have Dan Price stopping in over on YouTube. Good morning to you as well, Dan. Thank you for stopping in. Bigfoot Knows Karate. I don't know if you guys are well versed within the indie community. We're here with Fife and Rodgers talking about their first book they are campaigning for, and then Matt Rodgers' Twitter handle is in the description below. Matt Fife, I'll get with you later to get your social media platforms, and then we'll get those in the descriptions as well. So we are looking at the retail bundle, $25 for 5 copies. Your store's name listed on the thank you page, and then 10 copies for $45. So I like that little price cut right there too for getting double the package.
Yeah, we just do that. I mean, nobody's taken up on it. I don't know how often like comic shops look at crowdfunding stuff. We just figured cover all the bases.
And you never know.
Right. Then the tip jar, man, that thing blew our minds.
Yeah, the tip jar. Wow. So it every time I see something like this, it always looks like it's worthwhile having because it seems like people just get a super awesome response out of it.
Yeah. It's crazy.
Very giving.
Yes.
And then here we have a look at some of the add-ons as well. So the Happy Astronaut First Mission sticker for $4. You can get your comic signed for $0. So I like that too. You guys are including your signature for free. Is that from both of you?
Yeah.
Awesome.
It's like, who are we? Our signature's not worth any money.
And then original art for page 6 at $75. And then here are some of the other pages too. Page 9, page 12, and 13. So you said these were the pages that you deemed the coolest? Yeah,
we figured those ones would be worth. I know splash pages generally go for more. Anything with like full bodies on it. There's a weird economy to comic book art. It's like, so, man, that's pretty awesome. And then somebody bought.
Yeah, someone got page 1. So that's awesome. Congratulations on that as well.
That was the first thing gone. It was gone within a minute.
Someone was eyeballing it.
Yeah. Right. Somebody's been following me. Ooh.
So this is an all-ages comic book following the adventures of an introverted young adult who decides the best course of action for his life isn't a job at the local factory. I think we all can agree with that, right? Yeah. And with all those Shudder people, it's taking a job as an astronaut with the sole mission of spending all of his time absolutely alone, enjoying piles of his favorite food, or his favorite books, comics, movies, records, and absolutely no one around to interrupt. It sounds kind of like me. So like this. So here's a preview of some of the interiors as well. So we have the cover, and then Happy and his little sidekick. So what's his sidekick's name? Can you give us a little bit about him? I loved his attitude too. His the characteristics he has was just phenomenal.
His name's Little Robot Dude.
Yeah, we call him LRD. He's just a little robot. We spent a whole day like coming up. What could his name be? What different acronyms can we come up for that are names? What can we make Kevin stand for? And then we were just like, Little Robot Dude.
I like that though. Sometimes sometimes not thinking too hard about it is like the best course of action.
Eventually he'll demand a real name, but we haven't gotten there yet.
Yeah.
So how many pages altogether are you guys aiming to have this book?
What was that?
How many pages?
So I think it's 36. We're doing 2 16-page stories. And then there's like a little 3-page story that'll be in between them. And the way that the book will work is like, all right, Laura's going to grab a real book. So you'll have your book.
Mm-hmm.
And this will be eyeball. And you'll read it, and it'll be awesome. And then there's going to be a page in the middle that's like, whoa, time to flip and close the book, flip it over. So then you'll actually physically flip it.
Oh, that's so cool.
Second cover, and then the second 16-page story on that side.
That's really cool.
Yeah. It'll be awesome.
We have a little bit of the bios of the creators involved. You guys want to go ahead and give yourselves a shout out?
Yeah, Fife, shout yourself out, bro.
That guy in the Bad Brains shirt is me. I live in Wilmington, Ohio. My loving and lovely wife, Elise. We have 2 daughters. I have 2 dogs, 3 cats. I like to read and I like to write. And that's about it.
Yeah. I live in Fairborn. I'm the other Matt. I have a wife and 2 kids and a dog. I draw and work. It's weird talking about myself like that, but there we go.
I know, right? We did. It was a much more organic introduction, but I figured since we were already here, why not touch base upon it? We have the stretch goal as well. So at 1,500, upgrade the paper used on both cover and interior. So we are getting pretty close to that too. We're just right.
We added another stretch goal in there. It hasn't been updated yet, but at 12.5. Everybody will get 2 trading cards.
Okay.
With their comic. Even people who got the digital, we'll send them 2 trading cards.
Yes.
And then as far as the timeline, you guys are all complete story-wise, art, inking, lettering, and formatting, except for the thank you page. So that's awesome. We always love seeing campaigns are pretty much fully completed like that. That is your Zoop campaign in a whole, correct?
Yes.
All right. So
as of now, I mean, it depends on what happens in the next 29 days. We might finish the campaign with $1,027. Who knows? But hope not. We'll see.
For anyone watching, right here is the Zoop campaign. Be sure to check this out. And if you're unable to back, just share it. Simply sharing it on Twitter and Facebook is 100% free, and word of mouth can go a long way in helping this campaign hit its next stretch goals. So with that being said, after taking a look at the Zoop campaign and breaking it down, going through the different tiers, what would you guys like to say to anyone that is on the fence about backing your campaign? They're like, why'd you ask me this question?
We're really proud of it. We love it.
Yeah. It's a long time making.
So, what were you saying, Rodgers?
I was like, it's a long time making. It's really cool. It's one of those like generic, fund our dreams, man. I don't want to work a real job. I just want to draw and wake up at noon every day. But
God, that would be so nice. I haven't done that in years.
Man, luckily I'm one of the few humans that can operate on 5.5 to 6 hours of sleep a day. So that's all I do until like 1 a.m. It's awesome. But yeah, it's just, if you like comics, you can do the PDF version after this is done, because I mean we're gonna get more printed than are being funded, so we'll have them, and we're gonna, I think Comics Wellspring has like a web store set up, so we're gonna have it available on there too. So you got to get that sticker though. That's the secret, because that's never being printed again, man. We all like stickers. Get a sticker.
No, absolutely. And of course, it's the first issue. This has I've read a decent chunk of it. Thank you so much for the opportunity to get the chance to preview it, and I loved it. I had a blast reading it. I think my daughter would love reading it too. I think she's 10, I'm 33. If that goes to tell you the age difference there, this is definitely a story that's going to hit on multiple fronts. For it's like that cartoon for kids. It has it's not adult themed, but it has the jokes that adults will get and understand a little bit more. I was picking that up the entire time reading it. So you guys are missing out. You're not backing it. If you're unable to back it though, like I said, just share it. That is 100% free to do. Now, Matt, before we end the stream, I always like doing one thing in particular, and that's asking creators a question that's kind of geared towards anyone who's new in the industry. Because as much as this is a podcast where we really promote you and your book, I like getting something for them, for anyone that's watching, so they can take it away and maybe start a comic of their own. So with that being said, for anyone that is watching and maybe they're struggling with just getting started with their script, getting started with their art, or just getting started in general, what type of advice would you offer them to help them get motivated to just go and work?
Ooh, that's a
just do it.
question.
That's the thing, is you can plan and wish and hope and say you don't have time, but you just got to do it. We lucked out, or at least I lucked out, because the pandemic happened, and it was well, might as well draw comics. I got nothing but time now, and I got a better job so that I wasn't working as much. I dropped from 70 hours a week to 40 hours a week, and it made all the difference in the world there. It's mostly just do it, and you'll get better as you do it, because like I said, we have 300 plus pages of content that'll probably never be released, just because we had to nail down character design. Like the original Happy looks nothing like what Happy ended up looking like. He was super simple, because the whole thing started with me sending him a picture. I drew this little astronaut, and he was smiling, and he had a little ray gun, and I was like, write a story about this guy. That's how easy it is to start. And we've had so many false starts too, so it's not like we're sitting here judging everybody about it, but it's just, you got to do it. The more you do it, the better you'll get at it.
I don't know how well this will show up, but I believe this is the drawing I got sent saying, write a story about this guy. Right there.
Yeah.
Oh yeah, that looks way different.
That is
I love
Happy
the antenna
Astronaut.
though. I always love the old school antenna look like that.
Yeah, like the Elroy Jetson sort of stuff. But
He quickly evolved to this.
yeah, a little bit more accurate to what he is. It's just cutting out the fat, a lot of it, We were like, oh, he has a helmet and he has a space suit, and then we're just like, we don't need to explain that stuff.
And making comics is a process, and you have to build your blocks even on your fourth story. This is the next one we're going to work on. This is my notes. Eventually, this crap will be an actual comic book. So just scribble some crap in your notebooks, and then scratch it out and re-scribble it better, and just keep going. Art Baltazar once told me, long time ago, 10 years ago, he sent my wife an email because she asked him how I could break into comics, and he said, find a buddy, buy him some pizza, and then make comics. And I never bought Rodgers a pizza, I don't think, but I found a buddy and we make comics.
You guys better have a pizza party after this.
Oh, you should.
Absolutely.
Oh, that is so awesome. Well, Fife, Matt Rodgers, thank you both for coming on the show, breaking down Happy Astronaut and everything in between. This was a great interview for your first interview. I was very honored to get that opportunity to help ease you guys into the interviewing world. So hopefully we see you on some more shows promoting this awesome book, and can't wait to see you guys smash some stretch goals.
Thank you.
Fingers crossed, man. Thanks for having us. You were the first name that popped up, so I was like, I instantly slid into those DMs.
Yes, sir. So with that being said, guys, it is a beautiful Thursday. Be sure to check out this book. Like I said, if you're unable to back, share it on Facebook, Twitter. With that being said, I hope you all have a fantastic day, but most importantly, keep it geekly.